Good morning, everyone. So, today, what we're going to be doing is impromptu speeches. And basically, an impromptu speech is you're given a topic at that instant, and then you have to speak on it. And one of the challenges you face with impromptu speeches is that you have no time whatsoever to prepare. Basically, you're given a speech topic, and then you have around about 30 to 30 seconds to a minute to form some kind of structure and to speak about the topic. And generally speaking, structure is very loose in impromptu speeches because you really don't have the time to form a proper structure with specific examples and statements. And so what you can do is form a very significantly short structure, right? Just the bare bones and basics of it all, and then a structure speech around that. And basically all you need to do is have a couple of points in mind and maybe a couple of examples from your life, and then you can use those to give your speech. And now, basically, what we'll be doing is that we'll be using the site called ratespeeches.com. It's great, and basically, it gives you a whole bunch load of topics for impromptu speeches. It's also got other things you can check out as well. Basically, if you want to look and find out about anything related to speeches, I recommend this site. Now, anyway, the impromptu speech topics generator, what you have is that you can choose the number of topics you want to generate. The default is, I think, around 3, but we'll give it to 5 because you need to have some sort of options. Basically, what we'll be doing is that we'll be generating these speech topics, and then I'll pick one which I think I can speak on. And after that, we'll get into it. So basically, what you're aiming is that you have somewhere around about 5 minutes of speaking time, and basically that you follow some sort of structure. It doesn't have to be perfect, but you do have to have a point to your speech, right? Just can't go on blabbering. So anyway, I'm gonna start. And okay, so we're going to generate the speech topics. All right, so as you can see, it's 5 topics here, and then you can expand these, get more points about what you're looking at. You know, just see what you can speak on. I think that's more of a cheat sheet sort of thing. So what we'll be doing is that we're generating topics, and then I'll pick one at random. I'll speak about it, and then we'll come back later to see if there's anything else I could have included. Right? Here we go. Okay, so it's mail, risk, reward, bathrooms, retirement, and Republican Party. All right, quite a lot of interesting topics. We'll just see which one. I think mail sounds like a good topic to speak on, right? Risk, reward kind of turns into a motivational talk if you let it. Bathrooms, okay, yeah, you could talk about that. A lot of history there. Retirement, all right. Republican Party. All of these are good topics, except for Republican Party for me, anyway, because I'm not an active follower of politics. Anyway, what I'm gonna do is that I think I'm gonna speak about. I think bathrooms would be nice. How about retirement? And this stuff. Okay, let's see. Mm, like, I think yeah, we'll speak about mail. Yeah, I'm gonna have a little bit of a think about what I'm gonna speak about, and then we'll start. Anyway, think about mail. I think one of the things that you need to talk about is basically the fact that form of communication. Point one, it is currently in a state of decline. Point two, the importance it had in the future, importance it carried in the past, and how it's being replaced in the present. So yeah, these are like kind of the 4 points I want to stick to. Anyway, let's start. Good morning, everyone. Today I'm going to be talking about mail. Now, as long as human beings have lived on the earth, we have needed a form of communication. And back in the days of the Neanderthals and, you know, Stone Age people, we had is direct voice communication. And I think one of the greatest inventions was the ability human beings to write so that thoughts and messages could be conveyed without you having to be physically present at that place. So in the ancient days, there were plenty of different types of written forms of communication. You had manuscripts that were made of paper and papyrus in Egypt, that was. You had engravings on stone tablets. So basically, what the written word provided was an opportunity to convey your message without having to be physically present at that place, because you could write something and you could have died ages ago, but it would still be there for people to read. So basically, continuing and carrying forward with that, we had the concept of mail. Now, you all remember when we were children that you used to wait for the mailman to come around to your house, and there was quite a close interpersonal relationship with the mailman, because in some areas where you used to live, people had only one means and form of communication with the outside world, and that would be the mailman. Basically, if there was someone you knew living outside, he'd probably send you a letter, and the mailman would come and get it to you, give it to you, right? Basically, this thing was that there was a very close relationship between the mailman and the people of a certain place. Now, if you're talking about mail in the previous days, we all remember that during the wars, people would send letters to their loved ones back home, and it was the only form of communication. People used to save the letters they'd received from their loved ones, and something therapeutic, I'd say, about writing your thoughts onto paper, and still kind of romanticism about it. Anyway, that's back in the olden days. Now, if you look into the current situation, what we see is that, like all forms of communication, we have improved upon it, and basically the mail is like no longer as relevant as it was before. So what you have now instead is all these different forms of instant communication, and the reason it's getting phased out, mail that is that it takes too long. That's just about it. It takes too long. And so now when you have these forms of instant communication where you can just convey your thoughts immediately to the other party without having to wait a couple of days or a week or two, then it just becomes so much easier. And so still a couple of things that go through the mail, like actual physical products being delivered, things like that. But for ideas and thoughts and concepts and things like that, you don't really need to write things out. You just send them digitally nowadays. So the mail as a whole, people have stopped writing letters. I used to remember just like a couple of years back, I think 15 years back it was, and you used to receive Christmas cards, things like that, receive letters. I don't remember the last letter I've ever received because I haven't. Letters have just gone out of fashion. So anyway, in more than 10 years, I could say. And anyway, mail has been kind of phased out. You could say that the electronic mail is sort of successor to mail, still writing but digitally, and you're sending it digitally. But basically, as a whole, I think the entire concept of mail was a form of communication. And now that we have faster forms of communication, it's no longer required as such, and we only need it for physical delivery of things, right? So there are some people who still enjoy and reminisce about the times that were, and you'll find those people write letters and they send it to someone. And it is kind of a special feeling to receive a letter from someone these days, because it's not common anymore, not at all. But on the terms of practical basis, I think mail has been replaced, and I'd say for the better, because when you are communicating, what you'd like is it would be fast and reliable. And that's another point I think you can say, that mail is too susceptible to being lost, right? Placing your faith in mailmen and postal system that delivers it. And human error is rife in situations like this, and so many people have not received letters because it's been lost by the department, the postal services. And so you kind of eliminate that risk with the modern forms of communication that you have. So basically, I think mail was the duration for which it lasted a really good way to communicate. But as with all things we have, is that the expansion of technology, we found better ways to do things, and so basically that is basically the death knell for the mail. So I think as a whole, the mail is still a quite romantic and romanticism sort of way of doing things, but in terms of practicality, I mean, there's just faster ways of communication. And in the foreseeable future, I only see mail being used for physical products and physical things being delivered, like a package or something. But on the whole, I think it's going to die out in a few years. Have a good day. So that was the speech. Now, if we're just going to look at the mail, okay, here it is. Problems, the harms, the solutions involving associated with or related to mail. So I think we covered a few of these, right? We said that there's a possibility of getting lost, takes too long, and things like that. Comparison of mail with other processes or systems. Yep. Pros and cons of mail. We did that. Analyses about or related to mail. Okay, this we didn't cover. You can also say you could have talked about proposes a solution for underemphasis of mail. So that's for mail. Now talk about risk reward. If I would have given this speech, I would have mostly given it on the terms of kind of a motivational talk. Like if you don't take risks, you don't get a reward. Let's just see what the points suggested were. Frustrated, rewarding, moving, or insightful encounter. Yeah, you can talk about things and instances from your daily life that involve a risk reward. Talking about the solutions, overemphasis of risk reward, problems related, personal story, and successes and failures. Talking about bathrooms, I think bathrooms is, you could take this topic in any direction you want. Basically, I think some of the points you could have said is that rooms are kind of a safe space, a personal space. So many people, you just let your hair down in the bathroom and thoughts come, ideas come in the bathroom, right? You wouldn't get the hubnub of humdrum of daily life. And so anyway, the points we had for bathrooms were okay, the problems associated, metaphorical analysis of bathrooms. Okay, it's as a symbol or something. Again, you can always go with personal stories or strange experiences or encounters and things associated with bathrooms, right? But also dive into the deep history of bathrooms. Anyway, retirement, embarrassing experience, accident. Yeah, so in all of these, what you can see is that you can talk about the experiences you had as a person because you're allowed to do that in impromptu speeches. And what's unique about retirement and why it matters. I think as a whole, if I would have gone for it, I probably would have said that you should have some sort of a plan as to when you're going to retire. Basically, you should live your life in such a way that when you do the retirement, you have enough to fend off for yourself, enough to take care of yourself. Republican Party. Okay, I had no idea about this one because I am not a keen follower of politics. When you look at it from day to day on the news, but that's really not an in-depth analysis. Basically, I could talk on this, but it wouldn't be much of a talk because I don't really know much about this. Anyway, what you could talk about is what is the audience's belief towards the Republican Party, okay, how they're portrayed in the mainstream media, economical analysis, basically analyzing the Republican Party and reasons to not support the Republican Party. Okay, I feel like this is written by Democrats because they're just saying don't support the Republican Party. But anyway, yeah. So that is that. We did mail today, kind of looking at how it phased out and things like that. And yeah, that's all for today. I mean, if you have any suggestions or any topics you'd like me to cover, feel free to let me know in the comments below. Anyway, have a good day.